She thrilled fans twice at Saratoga last summer, displaying her speed, class, and beauty, thrusting Songbird into the conversation as one of the great fillies and mares of all time, joining the likes of Ruffian, Rachel, Alexandra, and Zenyatta. After the narrowest of defeats in one of the great Breeders' Cup stretch duels ever seen, the only blemish on her resume, Songbird came back to win her 4-year-old debut in the Ogden Phipps. Today, Hall of Famer Mike Smith, who has ridden some of the best fillies and mares ever, teams up with Songbird once again in their search of the 13th win in 14 career starts. The Grade 1 Delaware Handicap is next on Belmont Park Live.
Songbird, a two-time champion, a nose from perfection, tries to continue her ascent among the great fillies and mares of all time in racing history. Hall of Famer Mike Smith, who rode the great Zenyatta, never imagined he'd be aboard another anywhere close to her ability. We'll hear from the jockey who's been aboard Songbird every step of the way. Songbird's trainer, Jerry Hollendorfer, a Hall of Famer in his own right. He knows with each passing victory, the weight of expectations grows as he tries to get her back to the Breeders' Cup and a chance for redemption. And here at Belmont, he set a world record in his last start. Can disco partner be as fast on his feet as he stretches out in distance? He leads the cast of the Forbidden Apple. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Belmont Park Live on this Saturday afternoon. Thanks for being with us on MSG Plus, Fox Sports Prime Ticket, and Fox Sports San Diego. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Tremendous show we have for you this afternoon, including here at Belmont Park, where the Forbidden Apple is absolutely loaded. We'll get to that race in a little bit as you get a look at the new logo for Naira that will be flying proudly all summer long. Greg Wolf alongside Horse Racing Radio Network's Anthony Stibio, the Big A. Good to be with you again. And we're so excited to see Songbird back in action. With each win, she just gets better and better, but of course, we wonder how good she's really going to be. Some are talking about her maybe being one of the great fillies and mares of all time. Where do you think she ranks right now?
Well, I was not born when Ruffian was running roughshod over the 2- and 3-year-olds here in New York. I think she is the best filly since Ruffian. And I know I have been much maligned for that statement, but I think she is the best filly we've seen in the last 40 years. I don't know if she's really going to prove that today down at Delaware Park in Wilmington, Delaware, but I feel like she can add to the legacy and get another 10-furlong win. And as they pile up, Greg, I think that helps her ascend the ladder.
This would be a 9th Grade 1 win of her career. If she were somehow upset in this race, it would be one of the great upsets in horse racing history. There is a scratch in the Delaware Handicap. Grade 1 at 1.25 miles hone in will not go postward for Victoria Oliver. So a 5-horse field, 4 rivals for Songbird, and maybe a little bit of that too is just some of the best don't want to face her because she's just that good. Fast on the main track, good on the turf at Delaware. We also have that Grade 3 Kent for 3-year-olds on the turf in the Kent at Delaware, I should say. So a little bit of turf, and of course the great Songbird back in action that will be bringing you from Wilmington, Delaware. Meanwhile, here at Belmont Park, great card for you as well. Race 6 will kick things off, the 7th maiden claiming event, and race 8 is absolutely loaded. It could very easily be a graded stakes race. Grade 1 winner Grand Arch is in the race. Offering Plan, it was just brilliant last time out for Chad Brown in the race. And, of course, the world record holder at 6 furlongs on the grass, Disco Partner, stretches out to 1 mile for Christophe Clement. Track conditions here in Elmont, New York, brought to you by John Deere. Main track is fast, and turf course is firm for today's action as we approach the 8-minute mark to post. You can play along from home as you watch the show. Get signed up and started with Naira Bets. Go to NairaBets.com. If you bet 200, you get 200 in your account. Use the promo code PICK5 to take advantage of that. You can get signed up and started with Naira Bets anywhere nationwide. And, of course, the late Pick 5 at Belmont and down the road at Saratoga, exclusively available for Naira Bets customers, New York on-track bettors, and those wagering with a New York simulcasting facility for the month of July. Naira Bets customers qualify for a $100,000 single winner payout if there is just a lone winner That is pretty tremendous and a great reason to play that pick 5. That is a live look at Delaware Park, where we're going to head right now and check in with horse racing analyst and reporter Michelle Yu with a story on Songbird and more. Michelle, take it away.
Thanks, Greg. Out here at Delaware, the crowds are already pouring in the gates to see Songbird. They are starting to steal their places at the rail where they can get as close to the champion as possible. You guys have already mentioned it, but it's worth saying again, the accolades that surround this two-time champion. 8 Grade 1s, 12 victories. Her only defeat at the hands of 4-time champion Beholder in last year's distaff. When she came back this year in the Ogden Phipps after a 7-month layoff, she accomplished something a horse hasn't done in over 20 years, and that was be a 3-year-old champion filly and come back and win her 4-year-old debut in graded stakes company. So it's been a long time since we've seen a horse do that. Her connections, Jerry Hollendorfer, Mike Smith, both of them have won the Delaware Handicap a pair of times. But her affable owner, Rick Porter, he has been twice ousted. First with Jostle at odds on, and then also with Havre de Grace, who was beaten by Jerry Hollendorfer's own Blind Luck. He comes in now with Jerry Hollendorfer, and he says this is the best horse he has ever owned, and this is the race he wants to win. Rick Porter thinks it's his year, and Songbird's the horse to do it, guys.
Michelle, thank you very much. Yeah, Rick Porter saying if you can't beat him, join him. The trainer who beat me by a nose with my odds-on favorite who'd go on to become Horse of the Year in Havre de Grace. He says, well, I'm going to go ahead and let you train the best horse that I have ever owned, and we'll see if he can finally break through in a race that means so much to him, having grown up going to that racetrack since he was a child. Race 6 here at Belmont, 7 furlongs on the turf, 40,000 claiming race for non-winners of 2 lifetime. Let's take a look at the post-parade for this group. We'll start things off with Heavenly Sun for trainer John Hurtler.
Broke a maiden at this track, this trip last year. Second off the layoff for John.
Yummy Bear, the 2. Manny Franco aboard for David Donk.
Donk's been on a roll the last couple of weeks. Barn's starting to heat up. This filly, though, 0 for 8. This gelding, I should say, 0 for 8 at Belmont Park.
Here's Lucky Town, the 3, 13-1 for Rodrigo Ubillo.
Weight comes off with Hector Diaz. Third start off a little bit of a break. Not taking any money at 13-1.
Storm and McLean, 3-1 right now for trainer Brad Cox, having a sensational meet.
Only other time this horse ran on the turf after a second-place finish last out was the debut against Big Handsome, a stakes kind of horse.
Baseline, Javier Castellano for Charlton Baker.
4th last time against starter allowance foes. Second off the claim for Charlie Baker here.
And Retrograde, the 6 for Miguel Vera.
First time on turf since the debut, which wasn't that good, but does attract Errad Ortiz Jr.
Blinkers come off. Abbott, the 7 for Christophe Clement.
First start off a year layoff with the blinkers last time was Rank. They come off, cuts back to a sprint.
Molikas, Chris DiCarlo aboard for David Canizzo.
Going back on the turf after setting the pace here last time out on the grass, cuts back to 7/8.
Honor and Pleasure, big price at 23-1 for Tom Albertrani.
Yeah, added Lasix to begin the 2-race streak here at Belmont. Ran second, broke the maiden last out.
Turf debut for New Jersey John at 13-1 for Linda Rice.
Yeah, Linda Rice, Jose Ortiz, one of the most dominant duos on this circuit. A little quiet on the board for this one, too, at 13-1.
Gary Contessa trains Steamboat. Bill Kendrick Carmouche will be aboard.
Fresh gelding last time out, going a flat mile off a long layoff, cuts back here. This horse might be sneaky at a price, Greg.
And a huge price on the outside, the Orphan Miracle. It's Dylan Davis aboard for David Donk.
The other Donk, if you will. Tried to run this horse on the turf last year. It rained off. Trying today.
All right, how are you going to play race 6?
Well, I think Storm and McLean, Greg, Brad Cox and Luis Saez, they've done a lot of damage around here the last year and a half or so. I think he's a really good price at 3-1. I thought this horse would be 8-5, 9-5 today. I'm going to bet him to win, and then I'm going to take some exactas with Yummy Bear underneath, as well as Baseline and Abbott, who's a good price at 6-1.
He is the favorite right now at 3-1 on the board. Stormy McLean, Brad Cox hopes his tremendous meet continues. This horse just missed at this level last start. Next up, all eyes in the racing world focus squarely on the brilliant Songbird and the Grade 1 Del Cap, the 2-time champion, makes her return next.
The graded stakes winning son of Bernardini is off to a sensational start at stud. Among the leading freshman sires by winners in graded stakes horses, his first crop 2-year-olds commanded prices up to 36 times his stud fee. Leading progeny include TD and Rising Star Recruiting Ready, second in the Bashford Manor Stakes, and stakes place performer Junket. The pedigree, speed, and class to become the next star in this sensational sire line. Algorithms at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Sign up to NyraBets and get a $200 bonus. NyraBets, racing's best play.
Back on Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus, Fox Sports Prime Ticket, and Fox Sports San Diego. East and West come together for the cross-country Pick 4, including racing from both Belmont and Los Alamitos. Sequence starts in race 8 at Belmont and concludes in the Grade 3 Los Al Derby. Hit the cross-country Pick 4 on NyraBets and earn a 10% winner's bonus. All the details at NyraBets.com. We're 2 minutes to post here in race 6 at Belmont. Christophe Clement poised for potentially a huge afternoon in stakes races. He also sends out Abbott here in this next race. With more on Abbott, let's go to Maggie.
Abbott, a little chilly on the board here, guys, as he's currently at 6-1, second off the layoff. First time here for a tag for his connections as he ran with blinkers on down at Monmouth. First time off of that extended layoff, and he was very, very ranked that day. You would had to have thought that possibly the thought behind the blinkers was to get this guy forwardly placed, if not on the lead, but he was wrangled back and fought with his rider the entire time with Gallardo there, and really the horse just did all his running prior to even turning down the lane. So he really had nothing to offer in the latter stages of that race. Blinkers come off here today. I'm sure we'll go back to his previous running style where he sits just a couple lengths off the early front runners. And I think he looks tremendous here. You can ask a horse to look more fit, more solid, and well-muscled than he. I'm going with Abbott here in today's 6. Now, some interesting long shot horses include number 6, Retrograde, who returns to New York here for trainer Miguel Vera from Parks, and he returns back to the turf where he made his debut. I think it's interesting. He's going to be a long shot. He does attract Irad Ortiz here for Newton Anner stud, and he has a bit of a turf hoof to him, to be completely honest. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an improved effort from going back to that first debut race, which was over the good Belmont turf course. Next, we'll check in with New Jersey John. The other Ortiz boy is on this one for Linda Rice. They often team up here. So looking at him, though, despite not having that much turf pedigree that's apparently obvious, he has a massive turf hoof to him and physically looks like he might enjoy this surface, Greg.
All right, Maggie Wolfendale, thank you very much. They begin to load up here. There is the favorite stepping in, who Anthony likes in here, Stormin McLean. Repeat of that last race, you think enough to win here?
I think so. The extra eighth of a mile especially, he wasn't really getting to final encore vigorously, but you almost feel like a horse like this is going to need a little bit more ground. The 7/8 should hit him right between the eyes.
It kicks off the pick 6 here on this Saturday afternoon at Belmont Park. Stormin McLean, the 4 for Brad Cox, the horse to beat. At 7 furlongs here on the turf. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York racing for the call, Larry Colmus.
And the last few horses are set to move into line now for race number 6 as we kick off the pick 6 here. Retrograde about to move into the starting gate will be followed by Steamboat Bill and the Orphan Miracle. Stormin McLean at odds of 9-5 right now on the board as the Orphan Miracle comes up to the outside stall to complete the line. Goes in. They're all in line. They're off. New Jersey John comes out running on the lead. Right alongside his Honor and Pleasure. Abbott from the inside. Storm and McLean is up and on the pace too. These four out for the lead, and right up there too is Malika fighting for the front. After that, it's Steamboat Bill, Heavenly Sun. Toward the inside, coming on through is Yummy Bear as they continue up the back stretch. And then it's Lucky Town, baseline to the inside. And then on the far outside, and trailing the field early on, is Retrograde. The first quarter goes in 22.55 seconds, and they race for the turn, where Malika has taken over the lead. Malika on top. Honor and Pleasure is racing second, 3/4 of a length behind. Storm and McLean is on the inside. Then comes Steamboat Bill running in fourth, midway on the far turn. Yummy Bear splits horses up into fifth position. On the far outside, it's Lucky Town in sixth. And then Abbott, who's pinned in on the inside. New Jersey John behind them, and they're coming to the top of the stretch with Malika to catch as they turn for home. Steamboat Bill now moves up alongside and takes the lead. Honor and Pleasure splits horses on the far outside. Lucky Town and Yummy Bear. New Jersey John is storming down the center with Baseline and Abbott too, and they're all coming into the final 16th. Here comes Abbott. Abbott down the outside, and Yummy Bear, these two. Abbott, Yummy Bear, Abbott. Yummy Bear may have got there. Abbott was right there, too. And then it was Steamboat Bill and New Jersey John, and a final time of 1 minute, 22.50 seconds.
Oh, thrilling finish here. I don't think Abbott ever got a nose in front, at least until after the wire. It looks like it's Yummy Bear here at 9-2 with Manny Franco.
Yeah, Yummy Bear, excellent ride by Manny Franco. Saves some ground, gets through. Abbott might be the story again, though, Greg. Just never got going until very, very late in the game. Was taken off the pace again, despite those blinkers coming off. Just a big race out of Abbott. One of these days, he's going to get his picture taken real soon.
2 wins today for Manny Franco. Give him 47 for the meet, and this is a tough position to be in here with Abbott bearing down on him to the outside with Rajiv Barrage, but enough to finish. It looks like photo has not been posted yet.
But I agree with you. I don't think he ever got there, and we're getting the super slow-mo right now. You see, he wins the bob but still loses the photo. I feel like I've been saying that a lot about my selections the last couple of days. Wins the bob, loses the photo. Heads-up ride there by Manny Franco.
So Yummy Bear, 1 for 17 coming in, but it was not too long ago that he finally got that maiden breaker. So he's in pretty sharp form here on the grass. And there it is, unofficially posted. 2, 7, 11, 10. Some monster numbers underneath. 15-1, 18-1 respectively on your third and fourth place finishers. But it's Yummy Bear, Funky Monkey Stable, David Donk and Manny Franco with the win here in the sixth. We'll set up the late pick five next. We're going to take a break. Next up, Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith and the champion filly Songbird. They've been an inseparable team together for every battle. We'll hear from Songbird's pilot when we come back.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish from a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Back on Belmont Park Live, it is Yummy Bear into the winner's circle 2 today for jockey Manny Franco. David Donk, your winning trainer, and that is how close it was in the end.
Yeah, you see Yummy Bear's head even turned just a little bit to the inside. Did not matter today. He was able to hold off Abbott and get Steamboat Bill in the last few jumps.
Well, standing by with the winning trainer, let's head downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
Well, he sent out 2, and he got the win with Yummy Bear here, Dave. Enjoying a nice kind of run here in the latter half of Belmont. And Yummy Bear, well, did you think you had won it?
It was pretty close. He was pretty game about it. Looked like the 7-horse could have me whenever he wanted me, but I thought he was really game.
He really was, and a horse that's kind of been knocking at the door at this kind of level, and one for Funky Monkey, and they're a big crowd. How nice is it to train for, syndicates like that bring a lot of people to the races?
Yeah, because you never know where the people come from. I'm going to use an example. Bob and Beverly Lewis started with a dogwood. But it's a lot of fun for a lot of people to get it in at an inexpensive level. And, for me, just that they run well, but it was a really nice race for them.
Dave, it's always nice to talk to you. You have a great point of view on a lot of things. And we see Songbird running in the Delaware Handicap later today. What are your thoughts about Songbird?
Well, unfortunately, I follow Twitter, so I see what's going on this afternoon. I mean, obviously a very good filly. What is she, 12 or 13? I'd like to get one like that someday. So, listen, today I did look at the PPs today and realize I wished I had a filly that was an allowance filly to get some black type, because there really isn't much in there, in fairness. But listen, she's running there because Rick Porter is trying to win the Delaware Handicap once in his life, and you 750,000. It's a pretty good workout.
It is nice. As you said, I wish I had one like her as well. Dave, congratulations here, and have fun watching Songbird.
Thanks a lot.
Great.
All right, Maggie, thank you. Well done by David Donk, who's been doing very well here late in this meet at Belmont Park. New York Racing Association continues to take the lead with its expanded Spanish language broadcast availability. Darwin Vizcaya and Luis Grandison provide pre-race analysis. It's all available on the NYRA Now app in HD and race-by-race coverage. Here's Luis with Songbird's win in the Ogden Phipps.
En la punta, medio cuerpo en el comando, por dentro pega a su Cliver, va repitiendo nuevamente, Songbird mantiene un cuerpo y medio, Songbird arranca a correr con Mike Smith y ha dominado el comando por 2 cuerpos, pega a su Cliver, está segundo, Songbird con Mike Smith, se está defendiendo brillantemente, Songbird con Mike Smith se impone en The Origin Philly State, segundo está arribando.
Well, that was the comeback win. First race of the year for the champion Songbird, and she did what she needed to do, Anthony.
Yes, first time since her 2-year-old year, Greg. She was around one turn, and she dominated.
Got the job done over paid-up subscriber. Mike Smith has been the pilot on board each and every step of the way on the 2-time champion. Let's send it back to Delaware Park, where Michelle Yu caught up with Songbird's pilot.
Where Songbird goes, Mike Smith will follow. Mike, you've said that this is a filly that is going to be one of those horses that defined your career. What's it been like to be a part of her from 2 till now?
It's been incredible just to watch her grow. I mean, every year she just seems to have gotten better, and then from 2 to 3 she got better. Now we're just hoping from 3 to 4 that she steps it up even more. And her first race back was a dynamite race. I mean, for her first race back in 7 months, she ran tremendous. She came out of that race extremely well, has been training even better since. So we're expecting a big performance today.
Now, in the mornings you get out and work Songbird, which is not something you do for every horse you ride in the afternoon. How did that come about, and how has that helped you two as a pair?
Edgar, her normal Gallop Boy and Breeze jockey that gets on her in the morning, got hurt about 4 months ago. So I've been getting the opportunity to get on in the morning and the afternoon, which has been really great for me. And just to watch her come along, to see her, fitness-wise, from work to work, from her first, I think it was first half mile to a couple half miles to 5/8, 5 3/4, and then after running, her last major work was 7/8, which was tremendous. I mean, she really, really worked well. So if that's any indication on how she should run today, it was really good.
Coming into today, she carries 124 pounds, which is a weight that she's handled before, but she's giving a lot of weight away. A lot of the horse in the field carrying 111, some at 115. What does that mean in the end of the day? In, a time right now, we don't see a lot of actual handicap races.
Well, she's got to spot them anywhere from, I think, 6 to 9 to 11 pounds, some of them. But she's a big, strong filly. I mean, you'll notice it once she gets in the paddock and stands next to him. She's got a lot to her. She's carried that kind of weight before, and that shouldn't be a problem. And you just hope that she does all the little things right. And if she does that right, I expect a big race out of her.
Everyone else, their challenges come get close to Songbird. You say Songbird's challenges are the little things. What along the way do you have a little checklist that they have to complete to get everything put together?
You know, a horse can, as you well know, can get beat anywhere before you even get into a race. I mean, they could lose the race in the paddock, in the post parade, just by coming unwound, you know, losing it a little bit. You know, you want her to come in here and be focused, but yet cool and calm and, you know, not washing out too bad. You want her to warm up well. You know, a happy horse runs happy and runs well, so I want her to be that way when we go into the gate. And she's got to focus in there and get away well, even though it's a mile and a quarter, and then do what she does best, and that's just run, man. She's incredible.
Mike, you've won this race a couple of times before with Royal Delta. How does this track compare to other tracks that Songbird's raced on?
She should really like this racetrack, actually. It's a great racetrack. The only thing that'll get you here sometimes is the heat and the humidity, which it's not too bad today. So, and she's been out in California, so she should be used to it, although the humidity hadn't been like this. But this is a really, really good track. I think she'll love the surface. It reminds me somewhat of Saratoga, so it shouldn't bother her.
Thanks for joining us, and good luck today.
Thank you.
Guys?
Well, over his Hall of Fame career, over 5,400 career wins, and he's sort of become known as racing's ladies' man. He's ridden some of the best fillies and mares of all time. He of course, piloted Zenyatta, I should say, nearly every step of the way. But asked to compare the two, he said you really can't. You can't imagine two horses whose running style is more different. Zenyatta came from the clouds to the back of the pack, and of course Songbird likes to be a front runner. He did say both are two things, champions and warriors.
Yeah, it's a politically correct way to bookend them, right? Zenyatta comes from the back of the pack, Songbird on the front end. I like to call Mike the King of Queens, as you just saw by that list we put up here. Just an amazing roster of fillies and mares he has ridden throughout his career. I'm sticking to it, Greg. I think that's the best one.
Well, we'll see. She's going to have plenty of time, you would think, to try and continue to get that reputation up there. Today, most are thinking should be a procession. We shall see. It's her second test at 1.25 miles in the Grade 1 Delaware Handicap as she goes again for a 9th Grade 1 of her career. Opening day of Del Mar is right around the corner. It's on Wednesday, and a 1 million point all split coming up with NYRA Bets. Just bet $50 on the Del Mar opening day card with your NYRA Bets account on Wednesday, July 19th. Split 1 million points in every day of the meet. Split 250,000 points on race 5, which immediately follows the Saratoga card. Going to take a break in the action. When we come back, since switching to the turf, Get Jets has reached new levels. Now comes the toughest challenge of his career. The Forbidden Apple awaits.
Eclipse Award winner Blaine retired to stud with more than $4.3 million in earnings, including a historic victory over Zenyatta in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now he's making a name for himself as an internationally successful stallion. In 2017, his top runners include stakes winner No Fault of Mine, Japanese star Resonator, and classic winner Singa, the dominant victor of this year's Grade 1 French Oaks, Blaine at Claiborne Farm.
NYRA Bets Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at NYRABets.com. Bet the NYRA Bets Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on NYRABets.com right in the Bet Type drop-down menu or at any NYRA track or New York OTB location. NYRA Bets Pick 5, racing's best bet.
Saratoga right around the corner. This is the final weekend of the Belmont Meet, one of the many attractions at Saratoga Congress Park, located in downtown Saratoga Springs. And this year, there's going to be Shakespeare in the park at Congress Park, Midsummer Night's Dream, and it's going to be directed by Steve Haskins' son-in-law of Blood Horse fame. So I'm going to be sure to try and check that out final week of it.
Yes, I think I might be joining you up there. I'll be doing the weekend stakes preview presented by Naira Bets on the Horse Racing Radio Network from the Spa opening day. So
can I get you to Shakespeare in the Park too?
I'm a big Shakespeare guy. I know a lot of people wouldn't have cashed that.
I love
ticket.
it. We got to get there. Opening day of Saratoga, of course, is next Friday. Naira Bets excited with two special promotions. The Late Pick 5 will have a 10% winner's bonus on opening day. And every day of the Saratoga meet, selected stakes will earn you 10% winner's bonus. To earn that bonus, be sure to bet it on your mobile device. Find the schedule of all the Saratoga promotions and bet Saratoga Racing nationwide at NairaBets.com. We continue along here at Belmont Park. We saw Yummy Bear in race 6. Now it's the beginning of the Late Pick 5. Again, play it through NairaBets.com. If you're the only winning ticket, $100,000 single winner payout. Mile and a 16th Inner Turf in New York Breds in a 40 maiden claiming event. There it is, 10% winner's bonus on that Naira Bets Pick 5 there you see for opening day. But, of course, you want to play this through Naira Bets. All right, your ticket, how'd you play this today, this Pick 5? Tough sequence.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that the favorite here, Danny's Rush, is 6-5. That's a big favorite here. I didn't think somebody would be that low. I'm going to use him in the 1 Bats cleanup because the 6 Cafe Blanco came out. So we'll go 1-5 in race 7. The Forbidden Apple, what a tough race. I'm looking for Offering Plan to have a big year this year, using him with the world record holder Disco Partner. I think we can go too deep there. Mr. Pete and Collective Effort to 2 and 4 in race number 9. That's a good New York bred 2-year-old race. And then, like you said, Greg, things get a little deep the last 2 legs. So,
all right, I want to remind everyone again, this is it. It starts right here. This Naira Bets Late Pick 5. It's exclusively available for Naira Bets customers, New York on-track bettors, and those wagering with the New York simulcasting facility for the month of July. Naira Bets customers qualify for that $100,000 single winner payout if there's a lone winner. And again, you can bet it anywhere nationwide through NairaBets.com. There's your corrected Pick 5 play. The 6 actually is scratch, so using 1 and 5 here in this first leg.
Yeah, we'll see if Bats Cleanup can hit a home run in the first leg, pun intended.
$36 ticket. We'll see how it plays out. For more on this opening leg and how the horses look in the paddock, let's go to Maggie.
And your current heavy favorite here in the paddock for race number 7 is number 5, Danny's Rush, whom I agree with the betting public. Danny's Rush, from the physical perspective, looks like much the horse to beat, and not that his main competition in the other drop-down horse, Bats Cleanup, looks poor by any means. I just think Danny's Rush, this is his race to lose. He's just feeling good. He's healthy. I'm liking what I'm seeing from this Belmont trainee. Moving on to some prices, and one of them is number 9, You Rock It. Gets Lasix in his second start and gets a little more ground to run over. He's a big, rangier type that comes in here for a second start for lower profile connections, but they can fire up here with their New York breds, and he looks fit to me. Like I said, I think the distance should help him out a bit. Likely to show some speed here once again, but liking what I'm seeing from him and think he's an interesting play at a decent price. Number 4 is Curland, who also gets Lasix now in his third start. Back to the turf for him. That should be where he wants to be, dappled head to toe. Just another one making a nice impression on me. Just kind of that controlled forward energy, nicely on the bridle. One that I think we have to use as he finally kind of gets everything that he needs with the blinkers, with the Lasix, and back to the turf here. Greg, we're about to have riders up.
All right, Maggie, thank you again. This is it. The Naira Bets Late Pick 5 begins right here. The only way to play this wager, if you're not in the state of New York, is through NairaBets.com, where you can sign up anywhere across the nation. And again, if you're the only winning ticket in the pool, $100,000 single winner payout. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back next. It could be a lucrative next 30 minutes for trainer Christophe Clement. He'll send out the morning line favorite in the Kent and Forbidden Apple coming up at Belmont. Oh, it's an exclusive club, isn't it? Horses to win the Triple Crown. And we had our 12th back in 2015 with the Great American Pharaoh, who got beat at the Graveyard of Champions, which is right around the corner. That is Saratoga. It's coming up next Friday, opening day. It's a summer place to be. An opening day, July 21st. Tickets, hospitality, and dining on sale now. You get your season pass for just $1 a day. Secure your spot for the Travers at Stewart Shops or online at NYRA.com. Here comes our post parade. We begin with bats cleanup. Dylan Davis aboard for Gary Siaka.
In for the tag for the first time in his 6-race career. Lowest price he's ever been on the board, Greg.
Looking at you, kid, is the 2 Chris DiCarlo.
They're hoping number 13 is the lucky start for Looking at You, kid, who's only hit the board 2 other times.
Tap City is the 3 a first-time gelding, and now it's Bruce Levine taking over for Linda Rice.
Yeah, not only a fresh gelding, but a barn change and a surface switch. Mike Luzzy riding for the first time.
The 4 was a little sneaky in here. Second time on the turf, Kierland for trainer Mike Maker.
Yep, tried turf in the debut, got washed off last time out with adding blinkers. Mike Maker hoping Lasix does the charm today.
Here's the current favorite, Danny's Rush for trainer Belmont, also in for a tag for the first time.
Yeah, first time drop down, back to Junior Alvarado. This horse was good in a sprint last time behind Crawdaddy, who's a stakes winner.
Phileas Scat, big price for Steve Cliceris.
Back to the turf. This horse tried turf last time with the blinkers on. Got bothered at the start. We'll need a little bit of a better break today.
Incorporate. We'll have Javier Castellano aboard for Bruce Brown.
Yeah, 2 turf sprints stretching out to the mile on the 16th now. Javier always dangerous. This one's a good price at 8-1.
You Rock at the 9 showed speed, and who knows, may have bled in that race. We'll get Lasix for start 2.
Yeah, didn't take any money that day. Not really taking any money today. They got to hope the Lasix helps.
Risky Sour 19-1 and a first-time gelding.
I don't think I've ever seen a horse gelded after 31 starts. You come to the track long enough, you'll see everything.
The 11 is Frozen Daiquiri. This one for John Morrison with Hector Diaz Jr.
Yeah, trainer change here from Jason Service to John Morrison. There's some sneaky turf pedigree, though, here. Live long shot, perhaps, at 32-1.
Frostproof is the 12, Pablo Fregoso for Patrick Reynolds.
First time turf for Pat Reynolds. Another big price here, 68-1.
And Captain Kit ran pretty good at this condition on the grass, missed by a neck last start.
Yeah, the blinkers went on 2 back. There was some improvement and ran really well last time. Gets Rajiv in the saddle today.
Well, this game is so great because anyone can be involved. Let's go the 5 there. Another look at Danny's Rush. This is owned by LRE Racing, which is Lee Einseidler. And the big boys can compete with someone who just jumps in for a little bit of money. Here's Mobridge winning for LRE Racing. This was back on June 29th. Lee Einseidler has horses in training with Belmont. He's the CEO of Casamigos Spirits Company of George Clooney fame. I just sold that company, I believe, for $1 billion, something close to that.
Yeah, he could certainly play the $36 pick 5 ticket. It wouldn't bother him today.
Absolutely. Well, founded by Lee Einseidler, he's the CEO and the former CEO of Sidney Frank Importing Company, and helped launch and found Grey Goose and Jägermeister as well.
I'd have to think I've paid for some of these horses.
You can, that'd be tremendous, right? We want to hear your story as well. nyownerstories@gmail.com is where you can let us know about it. For more with Lee, let's go downstairs to Maggie.
And Lee, one of the friendly faces that we always get to see here at the races, as Greg just went through all your accolades. I feel like a drink now, just saying. But Lee, a little known fact, you're also, besides our show here, you're also on TV as well.
Well, a couple of segments in the Housewives in New York. I really don't like to talk much about it, but yeah, I was on, I think, the first 2.
I had to embarrass you a little bit, but you've made a lot of friends too. Just because you're a very friendly kind of guy, yeah, and that's one of the great things about racing.
Yeah, I think the best thing about racing is the people you meet. The horses are great, and it's so much fun, and the pageantry. But the best people in the world are at the track.
And off the top of your head, who's your favorite horse that you've owned?
You know, I'd have to say Mr. Sidney. He was really special. Won my first grade 1 with him, won a grade 2 with him. The whole thing with his breeding has been very difficult. We sent him to France. Things didn't work out. He's back here. But I would say Mr. Sidney and maybe Timber Reserve, who we won the Pennsylvania Derby.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, he was special. He was really special. We won the Pennsylvania Derby, and unfortunately he got hurt at Saratoga a few years later. But he was a real special horse as well.
Well, Lee, always a pleasure to chat with you. Good luck here with Danny's Rush.
Thanks, Maggie.
Greg?
All right, again, owners, we do want to hear from you, and we could share your story on the show as well. Send your information to nyownerstories@gmail.com. Of course, we're getting set for the main event, the Grade 1 Delaware Handicap, in Songbird, looking for the 13th victory of her career. Her owner, who grew up going to Delaware as a child, it would mean oh so much to Rick Porter. He's standing by with Michelle Yu.
Thanks, Greg. Rick, the big day is here for Songbird. I know this has been a bucket list race for you. What are your feelings leading up to the race?
Well, just nervous, actually. The easier it looks on paper, the more nervous I get. So, you know, just because it looks like we should do it doesn't mean it's going to be as... All kind of things can happen out there. I think of all of them.
What does it feel like to get to be out here and the weather is perfect? I mean, it couldn't be a better day, and just to get to experience all the people that are lining up to see her.
Well, I think it's fantastic. You know, she's such a popular horse, and she should be. She's just been fantastic, and it's great to see a crowd out here at Delaware Park.
Good luck here this afternoon.
Well, thanks very much.
Guys?
Michelle, thank you. Rick Porter first went to Delaware Park 70 years ago when he was just around 8 years old in the late 1940s, and it is a tremendous story that he is at the track on hand to see Songbird right now. He left the hospital on Thursday, 6 weeks into a clinical trial to combat an aggressive form of lymphoma that he has been battling, but he wanted to make sure that he could get out there to see the best horse he has ever had, that he has said in his own words.
I get nervous enough when she runs. Mr. Porter just got me a little more on edge now, Greg.
It is anytime one of the great ones lines up, yeah, those nerves get going, certainly, because you know you're seeing greatness and you just want to keep it going forever. We're going to see her coming up in just a little bit. We also have the Grade 3 Kent right before that. But right now it's late pick 5 time here at Belmont. One more look at Anthony's ticket here, and this is one of the horses you used on your ticket, Bats Cleanup, and big class drop, which could make the difference here.
Yeah, you know, I'm a fan. My top pick here is Danny's Rush, but when you're using one drop down, who is the big favorite now, I didn't think Danny's Rush would be this low on the tote board, but when you're using one drop down, I almost feel like you're a little married to the other one, especially when they're 3 times the price. I don't want to let Bats Cleanup beat me when I like one drop down. The other drop down can win just as easily. Dylan Davis has had a fantastic Belmont Spring Summer meet. I picked the 5 Danny's Rush, but as far as trying to cash that pick 5 ticket, Greg, I'm going to try and get the one home here at 4-1.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd want the better price, although this isn't really Dylan Davis's game. He's not used to being on horses at this short a price. He's been booting home 20, 30-1 shots all meet long.
And they look like they're 2 and 3-1 when they hit the quarter pole in the 8th pole. He has had a fantastic meet. I think he's one of the guys, we don't hear his name enough. I think he's bringing us, rider-wise, into the next decade of this sport.
Well, let's get back to that 5 for a moment as we see a few more of them load up here. Even money is a little surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm surprised by this. I wonder how much the scratch of Cafe Blanco from George Weaver's barn affected this horse being so low. I think maybe Cafe Blanco was going to take some money.
And you see lathered up on that neck a little bit, so certainly some sweat there from the 5. It is a bit of a warm day, but never a great sign.
No, never a great sign, but you'd almost half expect it on a day like today. Still a little humidity in the air. It's warm enough in the mid to upper 80s, so I wouldn't let it bother me today as I would say in the middle of February.
Has shown in the past some tactical speed, Danny's Rush, against better company and doing that sprinting. So we'll see. May not be too far out of it early on here for Belmont. And, of course, Lee Einsiedler's LRE Racing. It's the first leg of the late pick 5. There is your favorite for LRE Racing moving in. Short price here at even money. Let's send it upstairs for the call to Larry Colmus.
Frozen Daiquiri's about to move into the gate here with Phileas Scat. We see Kendrick Harmouche off of U-Rocket, but climbing back aboard now. As Frozen Daiquiri moves into the starting gate, that's going to leave Frostproof and Captain Kit to complete the line here. Danny's Rush under Junior Alvarado at odds of even money on the tote board as Captain Kit and Rajiv Mirage take their position. They go in. They're all in line. They're off. And it was an even beginning here. Incorporate is showing some early speed. There too is Phileas Scat. These two out to the front together. And they will set the pace into that first turn. Incorporate from Phileas Scat. And then it's You Rocket running in third early on, followed by Bats Cleanup. Danny's Rush is in between horses, and Frozen Daiquiri goes up on the outside. Behind them is Risky Sour, 5 lengths off the lead. And then comes Captain Kid on the outside. Tap City is next. And then Frostproof Kierland and Looking at You Kid is last through a 25.08 first quarter mile. Incorporate leads the way up the backstretch, clear by 2. You Rocket on the outside is in second. Phileas Scat is third. Danny's Rush outside of horses fourth. 4 lengths off the lead with Bats Clean up to the inside. And then comes Captain Kit between horses. On the far outside, Frostproof is going up around Frozen Daiquiri. Tap City's down toward the hedge. And then it's Risky Sour, Kierland, and Looking at You Kid, 48.92 was the half mile for Incorporate, who's now taken on by You Rocket, a half length behind. Danny's Rush is third and just outside of them as they make their way around the far turn. Down toward the inside comes Phileas Scat, fourth. And then Frostproof on the far outside, followed by Frozen Daiquiri and Bats Clean up. They're into the stretch. It's been Incorporate and Javier Castellano all the way so far. They come to the 8th pole with a 2-length lead on Phileas Scat. Danny's Rush has to do better. Kierland is running on for the back of the pack. And then comes Frostproof and Captain Kid on the inside. Farther out, Frozen Daiquiri trying to put in a bid. Looking at You Kid is making a run too with Risky Sour. Here comes Kierland after Incorporate. Incorporate holds on. Kierland second best, and then it was Looking at You Kid, Risky Sour, and Captain Kit.
Incorporate allowed to go free with soft fractions up front. 25 for that opening quarter, and Javier Castellano, plenty left in the tank here in the stretch.
Yeah, Javier Castellano is a 4-time Eclipse Award winner, not just for the rides on Grade 1 horses like New Money Honey last week, but for rides like this where he takes advantage of a paceless race, gets to the front end, establishes, and has just enough to hold off the closers. This was a textbook Javier Castellano stealing one on the front end.
Nobody wanted to get to the front except Castellano and Incorporate. 9-1 to start off this late pick 5 here, and 7 prior starts had never hit the board, really, with the exception of really one start, had never even shown much speed.
Yeah, and when he did show speed, he ran really poorly. So you couldn't think that he was going to try and steal this one on the front end, but truth be told, Greg, anybody could go 25 flat the first quarter.
All smiles. Trainer Bruce Brown here with a victory as Incorporate gets that maiden breaker here, career start number 8. And when you can get fractions like that up front, you're alone on the lead. You got to feel pretty good when you're watching as a trainer.
Yeah, it's not just the fractions, like you said. You brought up a good point. He's alone on the front end, so he's not only dictating the pace, but he's got nobody hounding him. He's got nobody on his inside, nobody on his outside. He's just walking the dog, as we like to say here on the front end, and he's able to close the door and hold off a hard-charging Kierland.
8-4-2-13. There is the photo. Wins by a head and then some. And a nice late run from Kierland here, who ran out of room, but was certainly making up some ground late in this race here. Just his second try on the turf. We're going to take a break, and the action still to come. Songbird continues to move into the conversation, and one of the all-time greats. She goes for win number 13 next.
The big day is here. You've told everybody. You've dressed the part. Your heart is pounding in your chest. Your horse is rolling down the stretch. He's coming. He's closing. He's the winner. You're a winner with Parting Glass Racing. PartingGlassRacing.com. PartingGlassRacing.wow.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Sign up to NyraBets and get a $200 bonus. NyraBets, racing's best play.
Back on Belmont Park Live, and there is Javier Castellano, 4 consecutive Eclipse Awards as the outstanding rider and stealing this race here on the front end. Crafty ride.
Yeah, I'm sort of waiting for the Nassau County cops to come in through the back gate here to come take him out of here.
$20 winner to start off the late pick 5. Kierland second. Looking at you, kid, at a monster number, 72-1. Winds up third, but for Incorporate, Bruce Brown, Castellano, Epona Racing. For more, let's go down to Delaware Park and check in with Michelle Yu as the Grade 3 Kent and Songbird in the Delaware Handicap coming up right after.
Horses on track right now for the Grade 3 Kent. They'll head over to the turf course here, which is officially listed as good. Yesterday, they got about 2 inches of rain here in Delaware, but the rider said the turf course before that was a little hard, so it took the rain very well, and they don't think it's playing like a really true good surface is. A compact field here, but one filled with talent, and I'll tell you what, right off the bat, Frostmorn made an excellent appearance when he walked into the walking ring here. He was a little lathered between his legs, but he was very in control of himself. It is pretty humid. A lot of humans here are hot and bothered as well. So Frostmorn coming off that impressive win in the Penn Mile. I caught up with Christophe L'Oreal, the assistant for Christophe Clement, who told me the key to him is he's going to have cover. With him being on the outside, if he gets to the outside where there's no horse in front of him, that can make him a little bit too keen. So Joel Rosario really going to have to pick a good trip around here. And if that is the case, then I think he's going to be tough in here. Another horse that looked fantastic was Master Plan. He's 4-1 right now, up from his 2-1 morning plan for Todd Pletcher. This horse coming off a win in the Stanton last time out, and I'll tell you what, this is a horse that knows his job. He came over here, he was very quiet, almost docile. He didn't have an ounce of sweat on him, and then he got saddled, and his ears instantly went up. When the jock got on him, he was completely on his toes. So this is a horse that turns on and off with racing, and I really like to see that, especially in a warm day like this. Horses have to track from the backside all the way over here to the paddock, so a lot of energy can be taken out if they're too hot in the humidity like it is right now, making that long trek. So I like that he really took care of himself before they made their way onto the track. Guys?
Michelle, thank you. It's a very, very short price on Frostmorn. You're taking a look there at Master Plan, who Michelle was just talking about for trainer Todd Pletcher. But Frostmorn, we thought Anthony would be the favorite. I didn't know the horse would be this short.
Yeah, I'm almost as surprised that Danny's rushed at even money at Frostmorn at 1-2 because you see Todd Pletcher's name. And normally when that happens and they're so close on the morning line, 8-5, 2-1, they're going to take some money.
Well, Frostmorn, he's been very, very good at a mile. Let's go back to his 2-year-old campaign at Belmont. This was in the Awad, and he was ranked throughout this race. He had all kinds of problems, but somehow he persevered.
Yeah, and I was at Penn National when he won the Penn Mile last time out. He's really matured, Greg, from 2 to 3. A completely different kind of horse now.
Yeah, somehow he managed to overcome this. Of course, the Penn Mile, his last out effort, he had no problems at all in that race, and here you see more of those issues. Ranked, steady, checked, but he came through. Can he go back-to-back here after winning the Penn Mile? Let's go to John Curran for the call. The Grade 3 Kent from Delaware Park, Frostmorn, the one to beat on the outside.
And it looks like we're ready. And they're off in the Kent Stakes. The Tortoise breaks well, goes for that lead. Frostmorn moves up on the outside to get a position as they come down that chute. And it's going to be the Tortoise showing the way. Frostmorn nicely from the outside to the inside. Joel Rosario has perfect position with the favorite, racing second as they come toward the finish line the first time. Master Plan up on the outside of Adonis Creed, then a gap of 3.5 lengths to Zinger, even 4 lengths further back to the trailer. Lunaire was already a dozen lengths off that lead as they race into the first turn. Opening quarter went in 24-4, and the Tortoise on the front end by about 4.5 lengths over the favorite Frostmorn. Master Plan is racing in third, followed by Adonis Creed in fourth. Then a gap of 4 lengths further back to Zinger, another 5 more to Lunaire. They reach the backstretch and the Tortoise to catch. Half went in 48-2 as they make their way down the Delaware backstretch. It's the Tortoise in front, opens up on the field now by about 6 or 7. Frostmore and still a patient second under Rosario. 2 lengths further back to Master Plan, followed by Adonis Creed. Then a gap of 3.5 to Zinger, and still 5 more to Lunaire, who has about 13 lengths to make up. It's the Tortoise controlling things on the front end as they race into the turn. The Tortoise and Brian Pedrosa trying to steal this one. Leads it now by about 2.5 lengths as Frostmore is bearing down. Master Plan, Adonis Creed both trying to move up. Zinger still with a shot, and from the back of the pack, Lunaire lengthening stride nicely, still with a shot. It's wide open with 3/8 to go. Here comes Frostmore to take on the Tortoise. Adonis Creed, Master Plan, Lunaire circling up from Mike Smith as they turn for home. 5 across the track. Frostmore has taken over. Frostmore now leads it. Adonis Creed racing in the second, then Master Plan and Lunaire, but Frostmore is well handled and has plenty left in the tank. It's Frostmore striding away under Joel Rosario, will win the Kent by about 6 lengths. Master Plan getting second, followed by Adonis Creed and Lunaire.
Well, I guess that price was warranted. Frostmore blows them off their feet here in the Grade 3 Kent.
Christophe Clement opted not to run him in the Manila, going a mile here at Belmont, not to run in the Belmont Derby, going a mile and a quarter here at Belmont, goes down to Delaware Park, finds the pickings a little easier, and gets to see him at 9 furlongs. Obviously, the distance today was not a problem at all, Greg, and you got to think that 10 furlongs is certainly in his scope after this performance, geared down at the end.
Yeah, plenty left in the tank. This was his first try at a mile and an eighth, and he showed that he's more than up to the task here at a short price. Picks up the 4th win of his career in 6 starts. And Rosario, late, hands wrapped up there, didn't have to do much, did he?
No, good-looking son of Speightstown, too. A lot of them they're pretty horses, but he's an exceptionally good-looking horse, and Christophe Clement has a real runner on his hands here. 3-year-old turf division. We saw the stars last week. Oscar Performance, of course, taking the Belmont Derby. Frostmore may have something to say about things later on this season when these two hook up.
Oh, incredible performance here from the son of Speightstown, and Christophe Clement. His day not done. He still has the world record holder, Disco Partner, at 6 furlongs on the turf, stretching out to a mile to come in the Forbidden Apple back here at Belmont. First part of the mission for Clement achieved. Frostmore at 1-2, 6, 5, 3, 2 in the Grade 3 Kent. Songbird back in action is next. There she is schooling in the paddock. The Grade 1 Delaware Handicap for Songbird is coming up.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warfront. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 Mile at Keeneland. Then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. With a pedigree free of Mr. Prospector in the first 4 generations, Data Link is the perfect outcross option. His first weanlings turned heads, selling well above the stud fee. Data Link at Claiborne Farm.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish. From a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Welcome back to Elmont, New York. You're watching Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus and Fox Sports Regional Networks. It's presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. We just saw a stellar performance from Frostmorn for trainer Christophe Clement. The Grade 3 Kent absolutely ran that field off their feet.
It's pretty nice to win a race as impressively as Frostmorn did in the Kent and have the world record holder as Plan B. Ready to roll for the second half of a pretty exciting half hour.
That would be Disco Partner, who is coming up next in the Forbidden Apple right here at Belmont. You can play that race from home as you watch along. Bet the action from home. Open a Naira Bets wagering account. Bet 200. You get 200 in your account. Use the promo code PICK5 to take advantage. You can get signed up and started with Naira Bets anywhere in the country. You do not need to reside in the state of New York, so take advantage anywhere you live across the U.S. and use that promo code PICK5 to play with Naira Bets. In the Kent, Frostmorn at 1-2 picks up the fourth win of his career, owned by Green Lantern Stables. Christophe Clement and Joel Rosario aboard for the winning ride. With more on the Kent and what's to come with Songbird, let's head back to Michelle Yu.
Greg Frostmorn, very impressive here. Plenty in the tank left over, and I would say the trip maybe not exactly as planned. You saw Joel move over to try to get cover, but the tortoise was not slow today. He opened up, and I thought that Frostmorn looked a little rank going down the backside, and I was worried after what Christophe told me before the race. But that horse was able to really move forward off of his Penn Derby win here, and he looked impressive, drawing off by several. Master Plan rallied on for a second, so a decent exacta with Master Plan drifting up in price late in the game. Guys?
All right, Michelle, thank you. There is Frostmorn headed back to the barn, and that seems to be almost a common theme with him. He seems to be ranking a lot of his races, but it really doesn't affect his running.
It hasn't now. You know, you hope, though, we talked about this last week, Greg, Oscar Performance and his gait woes, this horse throwing his head around a little bit, being a little rank. At some point, you hope they mature out of their problems.
All right, so Frostmorn, impressive as can be. And there is Songbird, even Michelle Yu trying to get a picture. That's how special Songbird is. They don't come around like this very often. She has been absolutely incredible and really in defeat even gained more admiration and from a lot of people out there who even may have doubted her, but that nose loss to Beholder in the Breeders' Cup Distaff was sensational.
And even her connections know where it's at. They had their Coaching Club American Oaks blanket on just now when she was walking down there for the Delaware Handicap. The Spa just a week away.
Absolutely. Next Friday, opening day. Of course, she was victorious there twice last year, Coaching Club American Oaks and the Alabama. 10 minutes away from the Forbidden Apple, a loaded field here at Belmont that does include, for Christophe Clement, the world record holder at 6 furlongs on the grass. That's Disco Partner. For more, let's go to Maggie.
And also got to catch up with Christophe Clement just now after watching the Delaware race, the Kent, with the winner in Frostmorn. And he actually said to me, you know, he was confident in entering in the Belmont Derby, but with the owners kind of wanting to go to the Kent, feeling as though that a jump from 1 mile to 1.25 miles might be a big step and a little too much for him to ask. They went to the 1 1/8 miles, and he was very confident that he'd handle it, as he very well did. And Christophe saying that he is a very good horse, and we'll have to see if he is a great one. But taking a look at his horse here, the world record holder, that's number 9, Disco Partner for the 6 furlongs. He'll try to go back out to 1 mile here, a distance that, well, he's yet to run over. He's gone a mile and a 16th. I love him. I think he looks fantastic here. I just don't love him at this distance, to be completely honest. He is very relaxed here, which I think bodes well for him trying to get this, but I'm not totally sold on it from the physical perspective. Checking in with number 3, that is Grand Arch here for Brian Lynch. He'll come off of a layoff dating back to early October. He's such a good-looking horse. He's very appealing to the eye. I have seen him look a bit more fit than this, to be completely honest. So wondering if he's just going to need this race to kind of shake off the ring rust and just tighten up and get race fit here once again. Now, number 8 is a new face in the mix here as far as New York is concerned, and that's Bondurant for Ian Wilkes. Very sharp here as he'll go the mile distance, where he's had a lot of success, very much on his toes, been bouncing around, very, very fit here as well, as he's already had several starts here in 2017. This will be a 6th of the year. So an appealing horse will get Manny Franco aboard for the first time as horses are hitting the track for our feature. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thank you. This race starts in 8 minutes. It is the start of a $350,000 guaranteed late pick four each and every weekend of the Belmont meet. Of course, this is the final weekend of Belmont before we shift upstate to Saratoga. And also, this is right around the corner as well later this afternoon. It starts coming up here. East and West come together for this cross-country pick four from Belmont at Los Alamitos. It starts here in this 8th at Belmont, concludes with the Grade 3 Los Al Derby. Hit the cross-country pick four on Naira Bets, and you earn a 10% winner's bonus. So interesting there to combine the races here from Belmont and Los Alamitos. Of course, the easy-goer winner, West Coast for Bob Baffert, is going to be a heavy favorite in that race in Los Al.
Yeah, Drayden Van Dyke's going to have to sub in because, as Bob said, Mike has to go ride that little filly for Hollendorfer down at Delaware.
Yeah, there's some business still to be tended to. This post parade brought to you by OCD Pellets. Celebrating their 10th year of the equine industry and their bone and joint supplement. You can find more information at ocdpellets.com. Get Jets kicks things off 2 for 3 on the Belmont turf for Anthony Dutrow.
A neck shy of being undefeated in 3 turf starts. Water gets a little deeper in here. His stakes debut.
Grand Arch, this is a Grade 1 winner, and he was just third to a Tourist, who was your Breeders' Cup Mile winner 2 starts back.
You're right. One of the Grade 1 winners in here. He's 0 for 5 since taking that Shadwell Turf Mile back in 2015.
Offering plan trained by Chad Brown. He comes off perhaps the best performance of his career. Javier Castellano rides.
One of the state breds in here. Loves Belmont Park, 3 for 6. Got the money against King Creaser and Lubash last time out in the Kingston.
Bondurant, Ian Wilkes trainee. Manny Franco has 2 wins today. He'll be aboard.
4-year-old needs a little pace to run at in here. Gets Manny Franco for the first time. One of those horses, Greg, that's knocking on the door one day. He's going to bust it open.
Disco Partner. Here's the world record holder for 6 furlongs on the turf. It happened last start in the Jaipur.
A perfect 2 for 2 since switching to the hands of Christophe Clement. They're going to try and stretch him. They tried once before. It didn't work.
Here's the defending champ in this race, the Millionaire King Creaser.
Great job by Linda Rice getting him ready off the bench last time. Just fell a length short to Offering Plan. Should get to the front again today.
And Danny Gargan sends out Cerese's Prince. The 11's a huge step up in class.
Yes, 2 in a row on the turf. Really like the addition of blinkers. Maybe he's the one chasing King Creaser today.
All right, how do you play this Forbidden Apple?
Well, I've been an Offering Plan fan since day one, Greg. I'll be honest with you. I've been waiting for him to come around, and I think he started showing some consistency towards the end of last year as a 4-year-old. He still got bullied around a little bit by his older New York bred counterparts, King Creaser, Carafa, but he made his first start of an 8-month layoff this year in the Kingston, and he was ready to show the old guard that there was a new kid on the block. 3-1's a good price. We'll play him to win, make a box with the speedy Disco Partner, the world record holder.
All right, this late pick 4 is coming up. Disco Partner said, anything my stable made I could do better after a world record by Pure Sensation. Disco Partner broke it in the very same race from a year earlier. We'll be back. Back on Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus and Fox Regional Networks across the country. If you're playing the races tonight, Los Alamitos in full swing for the short summer meet. Naira Bets customers earn a 10% winner's bonus on the early Pick 4 first post. Just 13 minutes away. You can find out details on this promotion at nairabets.com. Well, we've been saying it for the last couple of days. This field, it's an ungraded stake, but it really has the feel of a graded stakes race. Horses like Grade 1 winner, Grand Arch. He's by Arch, who stands, by the way, at Claiborne Farm. And he showed just a couple of starts back that he still has that Grade 1 ability when he was third to your eventual Breeders' Cup Mile winner, Tourist. But we'll see. Off the bench, what do you think at 8 years old?
Yeah, off the bench and combined with my thoughts on what Maggie was saying about him, you would almost think, Rick, that he's going to need one to get rolling. Now, he kept great company last year, but you got to think at the ripe old age of 8, he's going to need one off the bench.
We'll see. He came out of this effort, and he struggled at Keeneland in the Shadwell Turf Mile, but on his best day, he absolutely could handle a field like this. For more, let's go to Maggie.
From one 8-year-old to another in here. How about the New York bred? That is number 10, King Creasa, who did fall to offering plan last time, but he was coming first off of layoff over a yielding course, which I would say is not necessarily his preferred kind of surface overall, but he's run well on it, albeit I just thought that he looked better than ever coming back as an 8-year-old for Linda Rice. Today, I still think the same thing. I love the way that King Creasa is showing himself for this Forbidden Apple. He's sharp, he's in the bridle, but he's not too sharp. Obviously, he's an older horse, so that kind of nervous energy has certainly waned as the years have gone by, but just flesh-wise, he looks tremendous, and I think, there might be some speed in here, unfortunately, for his case. He's just doing very well, and I certainly want to use him here at 8-1. Guys.
Maggie, thank you. Minute to post here in this Forbidden Apple. We'll see if Disco Partner, the world record holder, 6 furlongs on the grass, can handle this stretch out here to a mile. Meanwhile, back at Delaware Park, and Songbird has just come out of the stall as she goes back in there and looks to pick up the 13th win of her career. It'll be a 9th Grade 1 for the two-time champ.
She looks great, doesn't she? It's really, really filled out as a 4-year-old. I was so impressed with her when she was here at Belmont Park. She looks just as good today down at Delaware.
It'll be her second try at 1.25 miles. You heard Mike Smith, her jockey, earlier say sometimes at Delaware the humidity is a problem, but today it seems like that is not the issue.
Yeah, I don't think the weather is going to be an issue here. It was pretty hot here, Belmont Stakes Day, and she handled that with a plum. So
right there, another Claiborne sire, Warfront, sire of Bondurant here, who is at 7-1 on the board, and he's been battle-tested in his career.
He has. He's traveled, and you know what, Greg? He loves a mile. 3 for 5 with a second-place finish at this distance. He's a little pace-dependent, which there's not a ton of it in here today, but he may be one to keep an eye on when racing shifts up to Saratoga next week.
The world record holder just stepped into the gate. That is the 9 Disco Partner. We'll see if he can handle the mile. Let's send it upstairs to the call of the Forbidden Apple to Larry Colmus.
And here's Cerise's Prince up to the outside stall to go in and complete the line. Cerise's Prince is in. They're all in line. They're off in the Forbidden Apple. King Creasa and Disco Partner go out to the front together, and King Creasa is going to open up, and now Cerise's Prince takes second, and Disco Partner will be taken in hand to be third on the backstretch. Grand Arch follows in fourth. Bondurant is fifth, racing on the outside of Get Jets. They're both hard held, 4.5 lengths off the lead and clear of Offering Plan. So up the backstretch they go. It's King Creasa and Cerise's Prince making the pace. A 23.91 opening quarter mile. They're in the clear by 2.5 lengths to Disco Partner and Grand Arch, who are side by side, third and fourth. Also paired up are Bondurant and Get Jets, and there's 6 from the front. Offering Plan, last of them all. Racing for the far turn, King Creasa and Cerise's Prince. Noses up, part on the lead. They've run 46.84 for a half mile, and they continue to duke it out around the far turn. Grand Arch is third on the outside. Disco Partner is fourth and on the rail. 3 lengths off the lead. Bondurant is next, and then Offering Plan on the outside of Get Jets, who's now the trailer. Cerise's Prince has taken the lead. Outside of King Creases, they turn for home. And Disco Partner comes alive to the outside of them. Bondurant is trying to put in a bid, too. Here comes Disco Partner outside of King Creasa. Disco Partner takes the lead, takes off from King Creasa. Bondurant on the outside is next. Disco Partner's lengthening stride down to the wire. Oh, yeah, he can stretch out. Disco Partner wins the Forbidden Apple with ease. Get Jets came from the clouds for a second, and then it was Bondurant, King Creasa, and Offering Plan in 1 minute 33.49 seconds.
How about that for an encore performance on the stretch out from the world record holder, Disco Partner, and this has been a very lucrative couple of stakes for Christophe Clement.
Yeah, great half hour for Christophe. I'll tell you what, you shouldn't be allowed to have a world record going 6 furlongs and run this well at a mile, 133 and 2, 133.49, I should say. The final time, he got to the lead, leveled off, started to goof around a little bit. He drifted in a little bit there, just kept to his business by Arado Ortiz Jr. What an effort here today.
Incredible performance. Yeah, all eyes were taking a look at the clock here, the final time here. Not a world record this time. But how about the margin against a field that was extremely solid?
And how about stretching out? You know, you've had all your success going short. You stretch out, and you come home the final quarter of a mile in 23 and some change. Just goes to show you that not only does this horse have a tremendous turn of foot, but now, in Christophe's care, he's found a way to stretch it a little bit. Makes him a dangerous, dangerous hombre going forward here, Greg. A lot of options now that he can get that flat mile at the very least.
Yeah, Breeders' Cup Mile thoughts entering Christophe Clement's mind now?
After this race, I think you would almost have to, because he's coming off that world record performance just 4 weeks, 5 weeks, where he has every right to go backwards, and instead, he ran just as good, if not forward today.
Photo for place, and actually unofficially the numbers have been put up on the board, 9, 1, 8, 10. So Get Jets and Bondurant, the Warfront Colt, rounding out your top 3. Followed by King Creasa, the defending champ, checking in 4th. So Disco Partner follows up his world record performance with a sensational win here on the stretch out to a mile. Grade 1 Delaware Handicap, and Songbird 1-9 on the board as she seeks the 13th win of her career. Let's send it to Delaware with Michelle Yu.
Thanks, Greg. Horses are still in the paddock right now, and Songbird really soaking in the atmosphere here. The crowds are about 3 deep, and I love to see this. Every person in the paddock, even owners of other horses, have their phones out, and they are all taking video of Songbird. That's what happens when you come up against a champion. She has been pretty good, I would say, overall. When she was getting saddled, she did throw her weight around a little bit, and she was not too keen to have her tongue tie put on. But once all that was taken care of, she came back around here and has walked around like an absolute queen. I mean, she just has such a regal bearing in here. She stopped beautifully for Mike Smith to get legged up, so she is on her way towards the track. I did talk to Jerry Hollendorfer about her schedule since she's arrived here. He said they schooled her in the paddock, not only in the mornings, but also during the races to try and get her used to this different paddock setup than one that she's been in before. It's very forest-like. There's a lot of trees, and the crowd can get very close, and there's a lot of people that stand right on the edge, so I liked that they were able to do that. Schooling her is something that they do at home constantly and on the road. He said that even though today the weather has been really nice, the day they shipped in, he said it was about 98 degrees, and it was unbelievably humid. He said it was just miserable, and he's so glad that it's cooled out like this because it really does feel beautiful now that the humidity has moved out. You heard Mike Smith comment before about how the humidity can cause havoc on some horses, like the year that Royal Delta won this race, but I think right now the weather is not going to play any part of the situation. In addition to schooling in the paddock, by the way, Songbird has also visited the gates here at Delaware Park, and she has galloped over the track, which Jerry said he was very pleased with how she moved over the surface. Guys?
Michelle, thank you. So all positive signs, what you would expect here from the champion. Mike Smith has said about Songbird that she's very friendly around the barn, but when it's race day and they bring down that feed tub, she knows it's time to go, and she kind of makes that switch.
The great ones do. The great ones know when it's go time.
Well, back here at Belmont, the Forbidden Apple, Disco Partner sensational. For more, let's go to Maggie.
And not to stroke your ego too much here, Christoph, but an exciting half an hour for you, that's for sure. And to get a world record holding horse at 6 furlongs to go to a mile in his very next start, kudos to you. How do you do it?
Well, he does the running, not me. So he just is a nice horse. He trains well. Aval gave him a great ride. He relaxed and he won't going away, so it's fun. Yet again, it's a wonderful credit to Mr. and Mrs. Generasio, owner, breeder, and they just breed good horses.
And quickly about Frostmorn in the Kent, where do you go with him next?
I'm not sure. I'm going to enjoy it for a day or two. That's okay with you? He won very impressively as well. I think he's one of the leading 3-year-old. The choice would be to either run him back in Saratoga like a race like the Saranac or go for the Secretariat, but we don't have to decide that now.
Well, I hope we get to see him in Saratoga. Congratulations with both your wins.
Thank you so much.
Guys?
Nice to have options like that with a horse who has this kind of ability.
Yeah, really nice to have options like that. 6, 7, and a mile so far in 3 starts this year.
Disco partner. I don't know which race was more impressive. Obviously the world record, but it was a fast turf that day. This might have been more impressive.
Getting the stretch off that world record, like I said, in a pretty short enough turnaround, just a great job by the entire Clement team.
Let's head back to Delaware Park. Grade 1 Delaware Handicap. Songbird, the 2-time champion, making the second starts of her 2017 campaign after that nose defeat in the brilliant stretch stool with Beholder in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. She came back in the Ogden Phipps at Belmont, did what she needed to do, and now she'll go 1.25 miles for the second time in her career after winning in the Alabama and doing so impressively last summer at that distance.
Yeah, 10 furlongs, second start off the bench. Maybe, just maybe, if you're looking to grasp at straws, that's the only thing you could think stops her from getting to the winner's circle today.
It would be a third Delaware Handicap for trainer Jerry Hollendorfer, who, of course, got the better of his owner, Rick Porter, with blind luck beating Havre de Grace, who was the 3-5 favorite that year. Rick Porter has come to this race twice. Again, he's been coming here since he was a child, but he had a 3-5 favorite, Havre de Grace. He had a 4-5 favorite, Jostle. Both of those odds-on favorites, for what it's worth, were beat.
Big Philly's going to get the job done for him today.
Here's the 2. This is Martini Glass, trained by Keith Nations, who actually had Songbird in his barn last year for the Cotillion.
Just missed by a neck in the local prep for this. The Obia last time out does have a win down at Delaware Park.
57-01. Big prices all across the board. Weep No More, the Ashland winner from last year for Rusty Arnold.
Gets a pair of blinkers. She has won a grade 1 in upset fashion last year. Obviously needs to step up.
Line of best fit. Edwin Gonzalez aboard, comes in off back-to-back wins. Could see some pace here.
Perhaps the unenviable task of chasing the Big Philly today.
And here is the champion. Songbird looks sensational with Mike Smith for Jerry Hollendorfer.
Normally this is when the butterflies start to roll in my stomach, which you can imagine there's a lot of butterflies that can fit down in there.
1-9 on Songbird. Rick Porter trying to get his first win in this race in his third try. It would mean the world to him. Just came out of the hospital on Thursday, so he could be here on hand to witness this race in person. We'll be back with the 80th running of the Delaware Handicap next.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use Naira Bets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. Naira Bets, racing's best play. Sign up to Naira Bets and get a $200 bonus. Naira Bets, racing's best play.
You're watching Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus, Fox Sports Prime Ticket, and Fox Sports San Diego. This was back in 2011. Rick Porter, the owner of Songbird, had a 3-5 favorite Havre de Grace. She would go on to be Horse of the Year later this year. She would get beat in the Delaware Handicap by trainer Jerry Hollendorfer.
What a stretch rule this is with blind luck. Havre de Grace looking to hold on and every step of the way except the last two. She got there. Blind luck did. Jerry didn't have any shame about shipping her, the same way he has no shame with Songbird.
Well, Jerry Hollendorfer, he's had great success in this race, so Rick Porter said, I can't beat him. Let's go ahead and join him. They team up with Songbird here. Let's head to Delaware and Michelle Yu.
Songbird has looked absolutely perfect since getting Mike Smith aboard. She came out here, she took her turn in the post, and she has been warming up very nicely, just like we usually see from her. You know, she's won at 6 different racetracks in 4 different states, and pretty much has MO track. Here is getting to talk to some of the fans that have come, some from as close as some people across the country. Songbird got to admit to a horse, and it's something that we love to see in horse racing. When Mike Smith got on and she took her final turn in the paddock, there were probably 200 up behind me filming her, and all broke into applause for her just leaving the paddock. So you know she's here, and we absolutely love to see her here. Talking about a couple of other horses that are on the track right now, the 2 Martini Glass, I would say, in addition to Songbird, is probably the best-looking horse in the race. She did have a 3-race win streak before being beaten against Stakes Company last time out. Of course, this is going to be a very tall task for her, but someone has to finish second, and I really do think it could be Martini Glass. Also, Weep No More gets blinkers on today for Rusty Arnold, who is not on hand. He has a couple horses running in Ohio, but I asked the assistant about the blinkers, asking if he wants her to lay a little bit closer to Songbird maybe, and he said no, the blinkers are not for the running style. They expect her to run the same. They're just for a little bit more concentration towards the end. Guys?
Michelle, thank you. It's going to be interesting to see. Whenever you're a huge favorite and it's a compact field, sometimes you get ganged up on a little bit. Mike Smith was actually worried about that in the Ogden Phipps in that comeback race for her, so he purposely kept her off the rail. Thought it was a very professional ride from Mike, and well done to keep her out of trouble. He didn't want to get boxed in.
No, as smart as they get is Mike Smith. He did a fantastic job just keeping her in the center of the track, not getting sucked into any sort of maneuvers by the other riders in the race, and he just kept her in the center of the course, and she did her thing. I told you, Greg, a mile and a 16th off of a 7-month layoff here at the Big Sandy, going that 4.5 furlongs into the first turn. That is a tough, tough ask. She couldn't have been any better back in the Ogden Phipps. I look for the, as Tom Durkin once said, the nonchalant brilliance.
Yeah, remember, it is a deep, tiring racetrack, Belmont as well, so that was impressive. Do you expect to see similar tactics today with Mike Smith here, trying to keep her off the rail so he won't get boxed in?
Yeah, you know, I don't know if there's anybody even fast enough in here to put him in that box today. He can put her on the front end and go as fast as he wants, as slow as he wants. Like I said, maybe line of best fit is the one that's going to try to keep him company on the front end, but she's the boss in here. She does whatever she wants.
You would think Songbird and Mike Smith can absolutely dictate terms any way they want in here. Line of best fit is the 7-year-old mare in here, but the 4, she's won 5 of her last 6, but nowhere near the kind of competition that Songbird has been facing or the kind of class that Songbird brings to the party. Top U.S. bred fillies and mares by earnings, and Songbird continuing to move up that list. Next in her sights, Stephanie's Kitten and Tepin.
Yeah, if the math is correct, she goes ahead of Tepin should she get to the wire first in this Delaware Handicap. Those 3 in front of her, they're pretty good.
Yes, they are. And, of course, Zenyatta, Mike Smith, took over after the first 4 starts of her career, was on board every start after that. They had a tremendous relationship. And, of course, Mike rode Royal Delta as well to a couple of wins in this very race. So he's been on some of the best of all time.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's not Kevin James. Mike Smith is the king of queens.
He certainly is. Azeri as well on that list. Mike Smith aboard Azeri for 9 grade wins. As you look at the list, it's really been I like what you said better. I was going to say a true ladies' man of racing, but I like the King of Queens.
Yeah, Sky Beauty's on that list, too. A lot of good times with the late, great Alan Jerkins back at the barn here at Belmont Park with Sky Beauty. She often gets overlooked because the money was not as plentiful as it was now.
You're watching Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus and the Fox family of regional networks. Songbird looking for the 9th Grade 1 win of her career. John Curran with the call from Delaware Park.
And they're off. In the Delaware Handicap, it's a good start for them all. As expected, Songbird on the outside will vie for that lead. Let's see who wants to go. Toward the inside, Miss Mo Kelly. Martini Glass is there. Then comes Line of Best Fit. And at the back of the pack now is Wheat No More as they come by the home stretch the first time. And Mike Smith is not going to do very much on Songbird early on because the pace is sensible. Songbird opening quarter goes in 24-1, leads him into that first turn. Songbird by 2 lengths. Line of Best Fit toward the outside of Martini Glass. Heads apart in second and third. Miss Mo Kelly saving ground toward the inside, and Weep No More is your trail. Only about 5 lengths separates the field as they make their way around the clubhouse turn. And Songbird and Mike Smith still sitting chilly. Leads it by 3. Martini Glass racing second. It's a length and a half further back. The Line of Best Fit. They quickly spread out a bit, followed by Miss Mo Kelly and Weep No More, the trailer, as they make their way down the Delaware backstretch. Half in a sensible 48-1. And still on cruise control is Songbird. She leads it by 2.5 lengths over Martini Glass. A length and a half further back, the Line of Best Fit. Then comes Miss Mo Kelly, and Weep No More continues the trail about 7 lengths off the lead, being set by Songbird as they approach the half-mile marker. They went to 6 furlongs in 12-3, and Songbird is still cruising along by length and a half. Martini Glass is trying to stay close. Line of Best Fit is still right there in third. Then comes Miss Mo Kelly and far back to Weep No More. They've got just over 3/8 to go. It's still Songbird in front. Martini Glass is trying to put some pressure on her now, edging a bit closer. Then a gap of 2 lengths to Line of Best Fit. 5 more lengths further back to Miss Mo Kelly. Songbird has some company. Martini Glass is making a run as they turn for home. They went the mile in 1:37-2. Songbird on the inside. Now Mike Smith asking for a bit more. On the outside, Martini Glass is still making a race of it, as is Line of Best Fit. It's Songbird digging in. Martini Glass is trying for the huge upset. Songbird is digging down. She's got Martini Glass, it appears. Rick Porter, you can go to the winner's circle. Songbird's going to win the Delaware Handicap. Martini Glass a game second. Line of Best Fit third. Far back to Miss Mo Kelly in fourth.
Well, this was a little more interesting than we might have thought, but Songbird does what she needed to do. 13th win in 14 career starts, 9th Grade 1 of her career, but Martini Glass got a little too close for comfort.
Yeah, can I open my eyes now? Is it safe to look? Yeah, she gave her a little more than I don't think anybody thought she was going to give her today. Martini Glass ran very well. Songbird goes to that place not many can go to and guts it out to win by a length.
Songbird victorious at yet another racetrack where she has yet to visit, and does it at Delaware now. 7 racetracks that she has won at. She gets it done. Second win at 1.25 miles. Let's send it out to Delaware Park with Michelle Yu.
Greg, maybe a little bit closer for comfort than I think anyone here anticipated. You know, Mike Smith went out and put up really easy fractions, 24 and change, 48 and change, well within herself. But that left the rest of the field a lot closer than we maybe expected them to be. And when we turned for home, the Songbird kick that we're accustomed to seeing just didn't appear with the sudden turn of foot like we're used to seeing. So I'm anxious to talk to Mike Smith and see what he thought. Obviously, when it came down to it at the end, she was able to gut it out over Martini Glass, who ran just lights out there in second, but really nerve-wracking and very close for comfort here down by the wire.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Yeah, you saw Mike Smith actually going to the stick there with the left hand a little bit, so he needed to get a little more urging out of Songbird to get this victory.
Just the third time in his career that Mike's had to resort to the whip on this daughter of Medaglia d'Oro. She earned it today, final time 2:03-4. Maybe the 10 furlongs is the Achilles heel for the big filly, Greg.
Did what she needed to do, though, and still just that one loss in her career by just a nose in the Breeders' Cup. 13 career wins in 14 starts. We'll be back for the Great Songbird.
And they're off. NyraBet's Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at NyraBets.com. Bet the NyraBets Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on NyraBets.com right in the Bet Type drop-down menu or at any Nyra track or New York OTB location. NyraBets Pick 5, racing's best bet.
We are back on Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus, Fox Sports Prime ticket, and Fox Sports San Diego. The great Songbird, the two-time champion. A little bit tougher battle than probably anybody expected here in this Grade 1 Delaware Handicap, but she does what she needs to do to get the win.
And that's what the great ones do. They do just enough to get there. A little harried today, but she got there. She got the job done. Second time going 10 furlongs. Perfect 2 for 2 at the trip.
And she did get those pretty easy fractions that she set all by herself up front. 24-1, 48-1 for the half. So with that alone up front, you would have thought she would kick away in the stretch.
Yeah, they hounded her, though. They hung around there today, and the champ just kept on going today.
So Songbird, 13th win of her career. Maggie, your thoughts?
A little disappointing, to be honest. I mean, I wish Sterling was here. He'd be ripping her to pieces today. Martini Glass gave her all that she could. I respect Songbird. She got it done as she should have, but I thought we would see a lot more open lengths and a more quiet and statuesque Mike Smith in the irons, considering the easy fractions she got to dole out and considering the margin of victory. She's still great. She still owns a lot of wins to her record. She picks up her 13th career win out of 14 starts. So I respect her, but yeah, the little bit cause for concern, I suppose, out of this race.
No matter what level you're at, if you keep on winning like this, especially at the level that she's doing it in Grade 1s, you are something special, and she proved it again. She didn't win by the amount of lengths we probably thought she was going to win by, but she did it, and it's a 9th Grade 1 win in a remarkable career.
9 Grade 1 wins, 6 different racetracks. She has won Grade 1s at 4 different distances, graded stakes races at 5 different distances. She is now 4th on the list. 13 for 14, a nose shy to beholder. I don't know if we've seen, I do know, we haven't seen one as good as Songbird since Ruffian. I know the 2 mile and a quarter races are the Achilles heel on her form right now. Those are the only 2, because losing to one of the greats of all time and beholder cannot be held against you, I don't think. Maybe she can't go to 10 furlongs against the very best, but at 1 1/8, give me Songbird against any filly we've seen since Ruffian.
Yeah, and let's look, we're nitpicking at this point because she has been so great. Oh, we want her to win by open lengths. Bottom line is she got the win. And keep in mind, whenever we talk Kentucky Derby and 1 1/4 miles, very few are able to get that distance. But Maggie, again, she does what she needed to do. Impressive performance here. And we'll see. She's probably not going to go 1 1/4 miles again, I would think, maybe the rest of her career.
Certainly stretching her limitations there as far as distance, Greg. Do agree with you there. But the argument that Stabile is making that this filly is the best since Ruffian, that you have to call into question of what you measure greatness with. And to me, sometimes the most dazzling performances are when you just win by a head against the best competition. She was not facing the best competition today. I think we need to bring up a filly by the name of Rachel Alexandra. Yes, her 4-year-old season wasn't that good, but her 3-year-old season season I would take any day over Songbirds. She beat males. She beat older males. She won a Triple Crown race. She won the Grade 1 Haskell against males with open lengths to that. She beat horses that were future stallions. So to me, in the last 10 years, I still think Rachel, another Medaglia d'Oro daughter with that same broken blaze, is a bit better than Songbird as of now.
She did not win a Grade 1 at 2. She did not win a Grade 1 at 4. I'm not going to say she did not have an unparalleled 3-year-old season. But if we're looking at longevity, and there is no coincidence that the 3 fillies ahead of Songbird on that earnings list right now, Zenyatta, Beholder, as well as Royal Delta, all raced for multiple seasons and were dominant through multiple seasons. That's not the case when it comes to Rachel Alexandra. A perfect 3-year-old season, yes. Overall, give me Songbird any day of the week.
You know, I agree with you there, but for me, just that single season, yes, I'm sure that that season led to some of her downfall as a 4-year-old, but that season alone just makes her better. To me, sorry.
Well, I think we can all agree they are two of the greats, certainly of all time. Rachel Alexander, she was inducted into the Hall of Fame last year, as was Zenyatta, in one of the most popular inductions we have seen at Saratoga in a long, long time. And it looks like Songbird, she keeps on going like this. She's going to be joining them. Let's go to Michelle Yu back at Delaware.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined by Jerry Hollendorfer and Mike Smith, and they're kind of talking about how tough it is here. And, Mike, I'll go for you first so you can go shower. You told me before the race that the weather here and the track here can be tiring. Tell us about the trip.
And it can be, you know, it's very humid here, and, you know, this racetrack's a trying racetrack. You know, you got to be fit and ready to run over it. So out-of-towners, you know, sometimes come in here and they'll get beat by the local horses here. But she's got so much class. We thought that even, you know, she's only run once, you know, this year. So going 1.25 miles is an awful lot to ask. And I have to give Jerry all the credit for getting ready for that, because ain't too many people could do that. And, you know, not too many horses could hold on, you know, only having one race over it anyway.
Were you a little surprised when you were going 24, 48 and there was no one around you?
I was happy. I thought we would probably get the lead that we wanted. Sometimes I'm not too sure if going a little faster is better for her.
Thanks, Mike. I'll come over here too. Jerry, tell us just a little bit about your feelings. Coming down at the stretch, we expected to see her open up lengths, and instead we had to see Mike Ryder.
Well, I don't, 1.25 miles and carrying 124 is a little tough for any horse, and I'm not using that as any kind of excuse or anything. It's just a fact. And so I thought Songbird did a great job of digging in and holding off Keith's horse.
Does it feel great to get Rick Porter this bucket list win?
Yeah, he had to get that. He just did. So we could do it for him, and we were very happy to do it for him.
Congratulations, Jerry.
Thanks.
Songbird, another Grade 1 on the books.
Michelle, thank you. And yes, third time the charm for Rick Porter, again, who was just let out of the hospital on Thursday. He's going through a clinical experimental trial for his lymphoma. Was able to get out. It's responding very well to that, to be able to see his filly, who he has called the best horse he has ever had, get a win that means so much to him at a track that he grew up going to as a child. So incredible performance. And again, going 1.25 miles, just your second start of your season here, as Mike Smith said. Maybe we should say, hey, maybe that was more impressive than we thought. And you know what? The stuff on the racetrack, the Grade 1 wins, the different racetracks, that might not be the most important thing she does in her career. Maybe it's being an inspiration for Mr. Porter. Absolutely. Back here at Belmont Park, race 9, they're about to load up here. New York bred maiden special weight at 3/4 of a mile. And the favorite, the 2, Mr. Pete here. Blinkers go on for start number 2 for trainer Jimmy Ryerson. Who'd you like in this race? I like the favorite. This was 4-5, Greg, when the wagering opened, down from 7-2 on the morning line. I don't know where all this early money's coming from here today on some of these favorites, but despite the price, I think he's the horse to beat. Yeah, a few of these coming out of the same race. Mr. Pete finished second. Panama Ed, the 5 horse, he finished third in that race. And the 8 Stolen Pistol, he finished 5th in that race, and he's on the board at 7-1. I thought the 8 was interesting as we take a look at him. Yeah, and what a catch. The horse that beat all these horses came back earlier today to win the Rockville Center here at Belmont Park. Traveling 6 furlongs here in this 9th from Belmont, the second start for the majority of these runners in this field. Let's send it upstairs to Larry Colmus, the voice of New York Racing, for the call. Race 9 from Belmont.
Ready for the start. They're off. Collective Effort and Panama Ed come out on the lead, and on their outside it's Stolen Pistol, so these three will speed along up front. Can't We All Get Along is 2 lengths off of them, running in 4th, racing for the turn. Then Bad Guy, followed by Mr. Pete. The trailers are Rihanna, Ring of Delight, and Teresa's Boy. Up top, it is Collective Effort and Panama Ed locked in battle through a first quarter in 22.68 seconds. They are a half length apart. Can't We All Get Along rides the rail, 3rd, Stolen Pistol alongside. Bad Guy going up there 3 wide. 2 lengths more back to Mr. Pete, then Teresa's Boy. The trailer is Rihanna, Ray of Delight, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. And Collective Effort has plenty of company now. Trying to get through there was Can't We All Get Along, but could not. Stolen Pistol is now second on the outside. Can't We All Get Along is down toward the rail now. Then Panama Ed, and trying to close in Mr. Pete. And on the far outside, Bad Guy. Furlong to run. Collective Effort in front. Mr. Pete on the outside comes on. These two to the final 16th together. Collective Effort. Mr. Pete running on by late. Mr. Pete on the outside got there. Running down Collective Effort. And then it was Bad Guy and Panama Ed in 1 minute 12.31 seconds.
Well, it came down to the top 2 choices on the board, and Mr. Pete gets the job done here for Jimmy Ryerson. Blinkers go on today.
Bothered at the start and still was able to overcome. Got slammed into by Teresa's Boy. Patient ride by Jose Ortiz. Gathered this one. Got him outside of trouble on the far turn and is able to wear down a game Collective Effort.
Well, at this point, if you're Collective Effort and Manny Franco, you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you think you're home free in here. You're 2.5 in front. You don't even know Mr. Pete's coming, but he is. Center of the track. That's where you want to be lately, Greg, here at Belmont Park. And Jose Ortiz gets him home.
Meets leading rider, picks up another one, number 62 of the meet for Jose Ortiz. 2-4-6-5 finish in the 9th. Quick break, and we'll be back with more after this.
Multiple Grade 1 winner First Samurai by Giants Causeway got off to a quick start at stud, siring Grade 1 winners in each of his first 3 crops. His talented son Lee captured the Grade 1 Don Handicap in record time and retired to stud with over $2.3 million in earnings. Sovereign Award nominee Stack Deck captured the Grade 3 Bold Venture Stakes and Grade 2 Kennedy Road Stakes, both just to tick off track record times. First Samurai at Claiborne Farm.
You're watching Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus, Fox Sports Prime Ticket, Fox Sports San Diego. Greg Wolf, Anthony Stabile, Maggie Wolfendale, and from Delaware Park, Michelle Yu, as we take a look here at the unofficial results from the 9th at Belmont. Mr. Pete rolling right on by. Collective Effort for the victory here in race 9. 2-4-6-5 finish. Meanwhile, back at Delaware, the 2-time champion filly, Songbird, gets the job done. Not as impressive as many would have thought would have happened in the Delaware Handicap, but nevertheless, 13th win of her career, Michelle.
Well, Greg, the sentiment around here seems to be that champions gutted out in the end, and that's exactly what Songbird did. I don't think anyone really coming with any excuses as to why a lot of people right now questioning Jerry Hollendorfer about the layoff, the weather, the distance, the weight, and what he said was Rick Porter definitely wanted to win this race, but if he didn't think that she could get the 1.25 miles off the layoff, he wouldn't have brought her here. There was no pressure on it. He said he knows the weight was a lot, but that she has shouldered that burden before. Obviously, Obviously, home track horses get a little bit of an advantage. Overall, though, he wasn't displeased with her effort because she showed determination towards the end. I did ask Jerry what's next for Songbird, and he said that there's a lot of filly and mare races coming up. He said that there's several at Saratoga he'd have to put on the map and at least bringing her out there for one. But, of course, he wants to see how she comes out of this race, how she ships back. He was also very, very quick to give kudos to his team, including Dan Ward, who does a lot of the day-to-day work with Songbird, although he doesn't travel with her. He was out here last week when Jerry took the Delaware Oaks, so he wanted to make sure that was included to everyone out here that was talking to him. And about the race and about her running, you know, we asked him, were you nervous at all? And he said, well, I've run a lot of horses in a lot of races, so I don't really get nervous. But if you're not anxious at some moments, you're not trying and you're not in the right spot. So I think overall, he's leaving here with a big smile on his face. And Songbird, well, she's leaving with another grade 1.
Michelle, thanks. That's what it's all about, isn't it? I got to ask you, because Rick Porter's been very vocal about saying he wants to potentially run Songbird against the boys later in the year. He's talked about the Woodward, where a Havre de Grace for Rick Porter won back in 2011. Does he rethink that now with this performance?
I wouldn't. Personally, I would not. I think a mile and a 16th at one turn, a mile and a quarter second start off of a 7-month layoff, those are two tough asks. She answered both questions like a champion does. I personally think when you see Songbird next time out, you're going to see the best Songbird you've ever seen, because she is primed for her best effort now with these two under her belt.
Well, Maggie, that's usually the case with a horse when it's third off a layoff as well, and that will be the case with Songbird.
I agree with you completely there, Greg. And yes, I know from experience, I grew up in the Mid-Atlantic. Delaware can be oppressive as far as the heat, and that track can be a little funny at times. It can be tiring in spots, and it's not always consistent. So Songbird, she got the job done today, and she's still our champion. Guys?
Maggie, thanks. Let's not forget, too, she was conceding as much as 13 pounds at a mile and a quarter to her rivals. At some point, that can catch up to you a little bit, so she still got it done. And Songbird, the two-time champ, rolling right along. Don't forget, we're not done here at Belmont Park. You can catch races 10 and 11 on the NYRA Now app or at NYRABets.com. Here's the late pick 5 follow-up. It started with a big number with Incorporate, the world record setter Disco Partner, the stretch-out win, and we just saw Mr. Pete get the job done in the 9th.
Yeah, Incorporate would have been my last one into the pick 5 ticket, Greg, so I'm kicking myself right now.
All right, head to the NYRA Now app to catch the rest of the action from Belmont. Disco Partner, the world record holder at 6 furlongs. The stretch out to a mile, not a problem at all. All kinds of options for trainer Christophe Clement, who right before that race had the winner in the Grade 3 Kent with Frostmourne. And, of course, the great Songbird did what she needed to do. Her second win at a mile and a quarter and the 9th Grade 1 of her career. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everybody.